please, I haven't started yet. I know the title might piss you off. You probably clicked this video because you really liked Xdefiant. I think you'll soon realize that I too really loved Xdefiant. I've made so many videos about this game when it came out. I loved the game, I played it so much. And to hear that Xdefiant is getting cut this early? Dude, I was heartbroken, man, because I really wanted the game to succeed. People called it the Call of Duty killer that everyone was hyped for because at the time, even until now, arguably, Call of Duty is a really, really bad franchise. It's gotten so much worse over the years. The peak days were over and all of us were sick of it. Sick of it. And it was being spearheaded by Ubisoft, the company that made Far Cry, Fallout 4. No, not Fallout 4. What the f*** am I talking about? Just Dance. Everything back in the early 2010s to 15s. Ubisoft, they were at the top of the game. I loved Ubisoft. I was a huge Ubisoft fan as a kid. And to hear that they were making a Call of Duty killer, I was stunned. I was really excited to see Ubisoft put their hands in the FPS community, and they delivered, honestly. I gave the game so much allowance because I thought, oh, you know, this is really early, and what we have so far is great. They copied Call of Duty's multiplayer formula. It was fast-paced, low time to kill, arena-style combat. But looking back, I found out that originally Xdefiant was actually called Tom Clancy's Xdefiant. And their idea originally was to combine different factions from various Ubisoft games, Splinter Cell, The Division, Ghost Recon, and, you know, give all of them their own abilities. The movement felt pretty good, the gunplay was pretty, you know, it's not that bad. Of course, there were some guns that were better than others, and I made a freaking tier list. Don't bother watching that anymore. But yeah, let's look into the comparisons. So on the surface, Xdefiant looked kind of like a beta version of something that would be a new Call of Duty title. But when you start looking deeper into it, I would say the cracks start showing. First of all, the gunplay. Xdefiant, I would say for a start they did pretty good. But the real issue for me, I would have to say, were the maps. The maps in Call of Duty are iconic. Rust, Terminal, Nuketown. I'm gonna be honest, while filming this video, I really couldn't remember what memories were from Xdefiant and Black Ops 6 because it's been a minute since I've played both games. But they were both in around the same time frame, which is why the lines are very blurry. Was that map in Xdefiant or was it in Black Ops 6? I really can't remember. And that says everything. Xdefiant had a lot going for it, but then when Black Ops 6 came out, no matter how frustrated we are with Call of Duty, as soon as the new one comes out, the whole FPS community just, you know, floods back in. The question is, why am I playing a game that feels like a Call of Duty beta when the new Call of Duty is out, right? So basically what we're saying is, this will do until the next Call of Duty comes out. And like I said earlier, I can't remember which is which. The way the guns felt, the corridors I ran through, the gunfights that I went through, it all just melts together, and when a game fails to carve out its own identity, I would say it loses the fight. And here's the thing, guys, Xdefiant didn't flop because it was bad. It flopped because it took too long. And then there's Ubisoft. Look, I don't want to drag the dev team, but you can see that they poured their heart into the community. And that's the part that stings. It could have worked, honestly. The community wanted it to win. The Call of Duty people are rooting for the game to win. Especially those who felt burnt out by COD and that, you know, Activision wasn't listening to us. Well, Activision Blizzard now, they're not listening to us. I think the real sad part of it all, this entire situation, is that we as a community just moved on so quickly. I blinked and then the game was just gone. I just stopped thinking about Xdefiant and I just moved on to the next shiny FPS game. Like, how are we supposed to expect Activision to focus on making decent games if we're going to keep acting this way when we have a good shot at making a point? It's easy to roast Ubisoft or clown those Call of Duty clones, but I don't want it to end like that. Xdefiant wasn't just another copy-paste shooter, it was supposed to be kind of like a culmination of what Ubisoft is. As a huge Ubisoft glazer, I was more than ecstatic to see Rainbow Six Siege, Watch Dogs together. They also had Far Cry. I've played Far Cry 4, 5, Primal. Oh my goodness, man. I've played Siege, I've played Ghost Recon. Those were fantastic games, and to see it all in one place, it's amazing. And I was really hoping that they would throw in like an Assassin's Creed sort of extension. I would have loved it if I could play as Gus and shoot Ezio. Like, that would be so sick. Or Aiden Pierce, or any of the other Rainbow Six Siege operators that we've seen before. It was a very, very cool concept while we still had it, and it just goes to show, and I would have to say this is a really sad thing to confess. Until proven otherwise, I guess Call of Duty still reigns supreme as the FPS arcadey genre, right? Because I can't think of another FPS game that does it the way Call of Duty does it. So if you have a Call of Duty craving, you're gonna have to wait till the next Call of Duty comes out again, and it sucks. I'd say the best case scenario is if Activision just made a proper game that doesn't have so many attempts on doing cash grabs. And another reason why this cancellation was such a surprise to me was just like how quick it was. I cannot imagine how much effort the dev team put into this game, because this game looked phenomenal. How can you axe the game in 7 months? And I know that the servers are still gonna keep going until next year, but to announce the cancellation in 7 months? It's an insane world we're living in. I guess as a company, it is kind of tough because with the low player retention and with the expensive server costs, you're looking at a real money sink. And so they probably saw the numbers and realized that even with the solutions that the community is giving them, and even if they were to polish up and smoothen out all of the mechanics of the game, will we position ourselves enough to have enough staying power to stay in this game? And so executives did what executives do. They cut losses fast, reallocate the resources, and probably spread it out across different games, and pretend like it didn't happen. Like, that really blows, just to think about that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Did you think that Ubisoft let go too early? Would you have stuck around Xdefiant if they were to do all these things, smoothen out the game mechanics and put in some recognizable characters? Or is this just another case of like another gaming company just trying to bank on something that was really trendy and then just leave when all the hype went out? Drop a comment down below, and if you like this video or if you like Xdefiant, rest in peace Xdefiant, you'll always be remembered. You tried, but unfortunately trying just doesn't give you a second chance.